Welcome to Kids Afloat. Here we are today at our local jetty for launching. Now we're going to take you on a 3-part adventure. Today we're going down the River Derwent to meet our friends Matt and Joe in scuppers and Peter and Dallas in shipwright. Then we will meet up with the Wooden Boat Guild of Tasmania to go on the historic ferry route from Austin's Ferry to Old Beach. After that, we get to ride on a steamboat. Hope that you enjoy this show.
Austin's Ferry, where everyone will come out.
We're going to row down that way.
We set off on Piccolo in the early morning, and as we were sailing, or motoring, we were treated to a lovely sight of mist all the way up the Derwent River. The mist on the Derwent is called the Jerry because it was old convict slang for mist.
There's so much of the early European history visible throughout Hobart, and later today we're going to explore some of that convict history around Austin's Ferry.
And then it's like I'll put my foot so up your ass, you'll have to chop it off. It's really uncomfortable dealing with. First of all, I got stupid sails.
Shipwright and scuppers sailed all the way up from Prince of Wales Marina, where they live. I'm glad that we braved the cold and the fog to get down to meet them. It was a really special thing to do. Peter took these gorgeous photos for us of Piccolo sailing along, although we did have to motor to catch them up, as the launch was going rather more quickly than Piccolo's sails could manage in such a light breeze. And it didn't take long for us to get back to Austin's Ferry, where we started to see our friends from the Wooden Boat Guild of Tasmania in all of their beautiful little boats. There was even a delightful steamboat, but as Jean said, more on that later. So the plan was to sail from James Austin's old ferry terminal, which is now a sailing dock, all the way across to Old Beach, where we had launched from at Jetty Road earlier in the morning. This is the historical ferry route. From there we would then sail up the river towards Jordan River, another tributary into the Derwent. Nicely done,
I don't like the wind.
You don't
It's
like the wind,
cold.
but it makes us sail.
Yes, but it's cold.
You don't like the what? Come on, get one for a little bit. Mum, come to this.
Somebody once told me the world was gonna roll me. I ate the sharpest tool in the shed.
Well, that's what's wrong with you then. And whilst it wasn't a very long ferry trip, it was too much for Bernie's little battery for his electric outboard. And so, Piccolo, hitched up to Bernie, with a little bit of extra might, managed to get him up the river under sail. Power-assisted rowing. Oh, we've got some good wind up here. You should be right.
He's still rolling away.
And in true ferry style, not only did we pick up Bernie as a passenger, but we also found our lovely friends Ben and Lockie at the Jetty Road Jetty.
I think they are.
So it seemed like everybody joined us in Piccolo for a grand adventure.
I like. Do you like rolling or whatever it's called?
Sculling? Oh no, I've never even tried sculling since I was a kid.
I'd like to try sculling. Like, just try sculling.
We seem to have picked up some kind of what do you call it? Yeah, that's it, wayward
What?
traveller.
A
wayward traveller.
Battery's flat. They don't last long, do they? Oh. I don't know if it's the battery, but it's
Oh, did they not have oars?
too many times.
Oh, he does, but it was a long way right up with oars. Yeah. Hey, can I switch sides?
Yeah, go for it.
Is it okay if I just move around?
It is. Let's see, look.
Oh god. I've been putting more away. So
Stand up and
Go, John.
I'd rather sit down.
Oh.
you can call that sitting. So.
No. He's rather happy.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes the jet skis.
Fairly insulated.
Round the bank.
Oh, yeah, he's worried about
How are you, Ben?
There's George.
This stunning boat belongs to Des. Des used to own Piccolo, and when Des owned Piccolo, he shared with us that she was actually called Swallow, which has, I must say, presented Jean with quite a dilemma, whether to keep Piccolo's name or go back to Swallow, which of course has beautiful Arthur Ransom overtones, which appeal to an 11-year-old boy. James Austen built this cottage in 1809 after his release as a convict from His Majesty's service, shall we say. He was imprisoned and transported for stealing beehives for the value of 30 shillings. Apparently he was very well behaved, as he got here in 1803 and by 1809 became the ferryman before there were any bridges across the River Derwent. James and his brother built a thriving ferry empire. There are remnants of their incredible success all throughout this area, including this dry stone wall that runs from the cottage all the way down to the riverfront, to where they built a beautiful inn that was known for 100 years for its beauty, its gardens, and its social events. In true Tasmanian style, after the inn fell out of vogue, the council acquired the land back. Tasmanians were for a long time quite ashamed of their convict heritage, and as a result, a landfill was placed over these historic sites. Eventually, the history was recognised, the landfill removed, and today we have a beautiful place to explore and remember the early days of European settlement. Another great part of dinghy cruising with friends is checking out their gear. Matt made this cool galley box, and I intend to make one myself quite similar.
And I'm not going to do the rowing thing.
I guess if you're recombining.
Well, I don't think we're doing the rowing thing. I think you're going in Steamboat. How cool. Hello everyone. I have ditched the kids afloat momentarily and piled everybody into the steamship so that they can go and have a little bit of a go, and thought I would take some footage. I've got the dogs behind me who have joined me in Piccolo, and we really only have a short part of the day left, headed across to Jetty Road, which is directly behind me, where we launched from this morning. It's been such a good adventure. Always love wooden boat rowing days. Glad you joined us, thank you. Do you think they've had a big day?
Yeah.
I think they've had a great
You
day.
don't know how sharp Ned's chin is. It's actually kind of hurting my leg.
Hello.
I didn't get a go in the helm. Can I have a go?
All right, Wiki, swap over. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the show. See you next time.